Atlanta Falcons in what has not been one of the thrillers of the season.
Pretty exciting so far, but maybe they'll pick up here in the second half.
And this is the rookie, Roel Preston. And Chris, I'm checking out the stats here. 56 passing yards by the Jets against the team that is ranked last in the NFL in pass defense.
You don't forget, do you? No, this has been an embarrassment.
I just wanted to touch on
I understand that, but this has been an embarrassment for the Jets offense. This defense of the Falcons gave up 300 yards passing against everybody that they played, and their best defensive back, DJ Johnson, isn't even in the game. He's hurt. He's out. I thought that the Jets would have a huge day throwing the football. How was that?
And a 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. We'll get back to those opening remarks that you made earlier. As George goes sideline. J.J. Burton on the reception. Short of the first down as we check out the Coors Light halftime stats.
And the passing yards, also the turnovers really on both sides. Some turnovers more important than others for the Jets. Both theirs came in their half of the field, and of course Jeff George with the fumbled snap on about the 4-yard line. So there were opportunities for points, but big mistakes.
2nd and about 1 at the 33. Eric Metcalf with his first carry of the day, and he has a first down. Good first half for Ironhead Hayward, although we did not see much of him the final minutes of that second quarter.
Yeah, it was unusual because Ironhead had such a good drive that ultimately ended up in the fumble by Jeff George, and they really haven't gotten back to that. That time they let Eric Metcalf have a rare carry in this offense, but for the most part it's going to be Ironhead, and they really need to get back to him.
Now Metcalf in the slot to the left. And George stumbling, a risky pass. He was going down and still unleashed, intended for Mathis. Victor Green on the coverage.
And the fans letting Jeff George know what they think of this one. Obviously, you don't want to throw the ball as you're going down on your back. That's just insane. That's Jeff George from 5 years ago. Got tripped up by his own man, Bob Woodfield. But that one really should have been picked.
2nd down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Falcons 10 and the Jets 3. Minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. George completes for the first down. Bert Emanuel with a 17-yard hookup again. Victor Green on the stop, and for Emanuel his 5th catch.
Bert Emanuel is having a nice day today, and here's where you see, as a former quarterback, just knowing where the soft spots are. You can almost tell from the way that the drops of the linebackers and the corners, that was definitely a zone defense. He read it very well. Just go down there and find the hole, and you can tell that Jeff George has a lot of confidence in Bert Emanuel, especially in reading those defenses and finding the holes.
And a first down at the 48-yard line. The draw for Hayward, and again breaks tackles and has a first down. Victor Green on the stop. That's good for 10. 12 carries, 84 yards for Hayward.
The Jets playing a 4-1 defense. Just one linebacker in the middle. That is Mo Lewis, I believe, and Wilbur Marshall actually that time. And anytime you end up in a 4-1 defense, instead of playing the 2 linebackers, they're just going to run Craig Hayward at you.
Good looking drive by the Falcons, although they had a tremendous drive in the first half and then coughed it up, fumbled in a goal-to-go situation. Penalty flags are thrown.
False start, offense, number 69, prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty.
That is the right guard, Gene Williams. June Jones not pleased about that call.
Gene Williams was a starter for the Cleveland Browns. Orlando Brown, the big guy they call Zeus, came in there and took over the right tackle spot, and Gene Williams wasn't too happy about it, said a few things to Bill Belichick, and when you do that with Bill Belichick, you get to play for another team.
How about the situation at right tackle? Dave Richards moving by Lincoln Kennedy. Once again, Kennedy, a first-round draft pick in '93, has been a major disappointment.
He was up to 415 pounds at one time.
And on the first down play, Metcalf with the reception. We'll see where they mark his forward progress. Carpenter made the stop. We'll check that Mathis on the reception.
And draft picks have been a problem for the Atlanta Falcons. Bruce never panning out, and they made the deal for Rison and Hinton, and that didn't work out. Lincoln Kennedy was supposed to be their tackle in this organization for a long, long time, and you just have to wonder if he's even going to be on the football team next year.
All right, it's Hayward again, able to find the hole with a burst. A 13-yard advance and another Atlanta first down.
And right now, the Jets are playing two linebackers, and it still isn't doing them any good. Mo Lewis and Wilber Marshall in the game. And just as he did a week ago, Craig Hayward now in the second half really beginning to take over. You know, the funny thing about Craig Hayward is he had a 4.3 yards per carry average, which was third best in the NFL last year. But when you talk to June Jones, he said nobody ever gave him a chance to run the football. They always considered him a blocker.
Shovel pass. Hayward down to the 10, rather the 15. Eric Howard on the stop. So Ironhead Hayward has been the story for the Falcons.
And it's such a beautiful fit for the run and shoot offense. You've got 6 defensive backs in the game, a lot of little guys chasing a lot of little wide receivers, and all of a sudden here comes a guy 250 pounds at you. I always thought that if you were going to play the run and shoot, you had to have a big fullback in there, because you're basically being tackled by defensive backs who we've seen all day today. They don't want any part of Ironhead.
9th play of the drive. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Oh, lots of pressure for Jeff George, and he had to release it in a hurry.
And there it is again. We have seen in the past 2 weeks that the Falcons just don't handle the pressure very well. And provided that you can get Eric Metcalf covered, you're going to have a good chance to get to Jeff George. And he's hurt too. Jeff George has a problem with the ankle. They come with Marcus Turner, the safety, on the blitz. And one of the advantages and one of the problems of this offense, as you take a look at the tape job there on Jeff George, is that they like to play their wide receivers so tight in the slot, it really gives you an opportunity for some corner blitzes.
2nd and 10 at the 15-yard line. Hayward on the draw, bobbled it, and was able to hold on. Taken down by Marvin Washington. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6 at the 11th. 6 minutes in, 3rd quarter.
Well, Hayward really had a huge year last year. Career highs in rushing yards, attempts, catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns. And really the reason why that happened to him was he got his personal life in order.
Well, he is a recovering alcoholic and appears to have his life straightened out. Oh, look out. George taken down by the blitzing Victor Green.
Jeff George not happy. Obviously, someone missing the blitz. The hot read had to be on the other side because Jeff never looked back to the right side. But again, there's one of the problems in this run and shoot offense. You want to play Eric Metcalf in the slot, then the man that covers him, in that case Victor Green, is very close to the quarterback. So you're seeing a lot of blitzing coming from those man-to-man coverage people.
36-yard attempt from Morton Anderson. So Anderson adds to the lead with 8:23 remaining in the 11 plays, 6 minutes and 37 seconds. So Atlanta had the ball from the opening kickoff of the second half right throughout. It concludes with a field goal by Anderson, and the Falcons lead.
Running the football and going up and down the field, but really the interception turned the tide there, and it hasn't been much. A lot of 3 and 4 and 5 play drives, and after that first drive, Rich Kotite and the boys have been having some problems moving the football.
Second down and 5 from the 34-yard line. Morrell with the spin with a short pickup. Pierce Holt able to trip him up. Pierce Holt did not have a sack last year. That was made available in the expansion draft, but was not claimed. Injuries have set him back in recent years. This front four, though, today has played very well. Chuck Smith, Pierce Holt.
Right.
Mo Gardner, Chris Goldman.
You know, Pierce Holt hurt his quad, his toe, his shoulder, his groin, and his rib last year. That's why he didn't have any sacks.
It's a 3rd and 4. And Esiason able to connect with Brady for the first catch of the day for Kyle Brady. It's a 15-yard hookup and a first down.
Well, part of the reason why Kyle Brady's had such a tough time getting open today is that they're playing man coverage on the wide receivers and basically beating those guys up, so there's plenty of extra people to hang around inside. That time Boomer able to squeeze it in. You know he'd love to come back to Kyle Brady and Fred Baxter. He had some success to Baxter early in the first half, but until the wide receivers get a little respect, things are going to be tight for the tight ends.
And Kyle Brady certainly picking it up after that difficult start in his NFL debut in Miami. Brad Baxter picked up just a couple, swinging out of the backfield, met by the right corner, Terry Taylor.
Boy, did Brad Baxter have a weak pass blocking last week. He was just igniting people coming in and trying to get their hands on Boomer Esiason, and he just sensational as a blocker. Got some opportunity to run the football, took advantage of that, but his forte certainly is blocking in this league.
And one of the masters is what they call the pancake block, splattering the opposition. Second down and 9. Inside handoff for Morrell. Jets trying to establish the running game. We are set for an update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marvin, we'll take you to Cincinnati. That man, Jeff Blake, does it again. On top, 51 yards. Watch the grab by Darnay Scott. Takes it into the end zone. Houston on top, but not by much. It's a touchdown. 28-21 Oilers in the third, Marv.
All right, Greg, third down and 3 for the Jets at the Atlanta 43. Penalty marker thrown. And Esiason once again was almost picked off.
The play was never run, really, because Kyle Brady jumped offside, so they blew it dead. You just couldn't hear it here in the stadium.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Kyle Brady leaving at least a count or two before Boomer Esiason got the football. And really, I'm a little surprised at the lack of emotion by the Jets. They come back, they win a game last week after the heartbreaker against Indianapolis. I thought they'd really come in here all jacked up and ready to play, but really just has not been a very emotional effort thus far.
Third down and 8 at the 48-yard line. Esiason is hauled down by Chuck Smith. That's his second sack of the day.
Chuck Smith was leading this team in sacks, had 11 sacks last year. That's 7th in the National Football League before he hurt his knee, and he looks like he's all the way back. Carlton Hasselrig has been no match for Chuck Smith today.
Unique celebration by Chuck Smith. And here's Brian Hanson for Eric Metcalf, who lets it fly by. And it just did carry in a 54-yard punt. Atlanta will start from its 20 when we come back.
From above, and really not finding one so far until those wide receivers start finding a way to get open, and the offensive line protecting probably won't be an answer.
And the Falcons start from their 20-yard line with 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Swing pass, and Hayward able to shake off a tackler, run out by Victor Green. He enjoyed that one.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall, you just can't get your arms around that guy. You know, they say you're supposed to hit and wrap up and do all those things. Well, Wilbur Marshall that time hit him and tried to wrap his arms around him, but they wouldn't go. They wouldn't reach all the way. So he grabbed a jersey, and Hayward was laughing at him on the way back.
Picked up about 1.5 yards. Second down play. The Falcons 13 and the Jets 3. Again, Hayward finding the opening as he took it to the outside, making it look very easy as he has another first down. Picked up 12. He has run for 114 yards. Second straight week that he's gone over the 100 mark.
Pretty nimble 250-pounder here, cutting all the way back. And really, the Jets in there with their 3 linebacker set. This run and shoot offense should not be able to run the football against the 3 linebacker set, but Hayward just found a hole.
Another outstanding day for the native of Passaic, New Jersey. Craig Ironhead Hayward. That's the call again. Picked up a couple of the 34. Marvin Washington with the stop and a flag thrown in the secondary.
Face mask, 5 yards on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
So the face mask call against the Jets.
Boy, tough afternoon for Rich Kotite. We talked to him yesterday, and he really believed that his team was turning the corner now. They played 3 good quarters against the Colts. Obviously blew up in the 4th quarter of that one, allowing the Colts to come back, but a solid game last week against Jacksonville. He thought they were going in the right direction, but this has been awful so far.
And they can look forward next week to face the Raiders at home. Hayward stopped at the line. See, next Sunday night, a home game against the Raiders, followed by games at Buffalo and then at Carolina. It'll be a second down and 2 at the 40-yard line as we come up on 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
You know, the nice thing when you play against Jacksonville is you don't have to worry about the passing game. That's the one thing Jacksonville with Mark Brunell, they have no passing game to speak of whatsoever. And then they come back out here against this run and shoot, a pretty difficult transition.
Hayward has the first down. Again, Victor Green, who's piling up the tackles, made the stop. 17 carries, 121 yards for Craig Hayward.
And they've got every offensive lineman covered, and it doesn't matter. They're just blowing people out. Now, Bob Woodfield with a nice block over there on the left side. And for Hayward, if you're going to get him into the secondary and let him work against people like Victor Green, he's going to have an enjoyable afternoon.
Atlanta 20 first downs. The Jets only 8. Draw play. Metcalf for the Jet 48. Donald Evans on the stop. Only the second carry of the day for Eric Metcalf.
And June Jones liking what he's seeing so much. He's putting in his tight end now, Mitch Lyons, and they're just going to run the football. I don't think they think the Jets can stop them defensively. They're just going out there and just playing smash mouth football. That's nice. Run and shoot, smash mouth football. What a solid day for Eric Metcalf.
And the Falcons have owned the ball right throughout this third quarter. Sideline pattern. And a first down picked up by Burt, covered by Otis Smith.
And really no choice now for Jim Vecchiarelli, the defensive coordinator. He has to come in there with some of those bigger guys. They're down to playing just 4 and 5 defensive backs now because they have to stop the running game. And Jeff George did a nice job reading the defense there. He saw it himself, and you can't really blame Jim Vecchiarelli. He's doing what he can, but eventually this defense has to stand up and win a personal battle.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. Clock winding down. When we come back at the start of the fourth, the Falcons first down at the Jet 44. Atlanta with a 13-3 lead. In Atlanta with the Falcons leading the Jets 13-3 as this fourth quarter gets underway. Atlanta first down at the Jet 44, and the draw for Hayward. This time he's turned back. One of the rare times that he's been handled. Matt Brock with the reps on Ironhead Hayward. The Atlanta Falcons owning the ball in the third quarter. They had it for nearly 11 minutes.
Yeah, and when you're trying to get back in a football game, that's just demoralizing. Offensively, you're sitting over there and hoping to get back in, but you can't really blame this Jet defense. They've at least kept their team in it, but emotionally, it's very tough to watch your offense play like this.
Second down and 11. George for Hayward. Oh, a little spin move, but he lost on that play.
Yeah, boy. I think he's been hanging around with Metcalf a little too much. It's this is just pretty. I think you have to put this one in the pretty category, and I think he got a little dizzy actually. He sort of lost his balance, and but that was nice. I like that.
Third down.
Oh boy.
And 9 at the 43-yard line. Fourth quarter just underway. Atlanta Falcons trying to make it a record of 3 up and 1 down, coming off the overtime win over New Orleans last week. Flag is thrown. George checking downfield and goes down. Tripped up by Washington.
You know, Marv, with the way they have the rules now, it's such an advantage to the quarterback because you don't have to worry about it if one of your guys moved or not.
Offside defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Because if one of the offensive guys had moved, they would have blown the play dead. So you knew that it was the Jets and Hugh Douglas that jumped off sides. So go ahead and take your shot down the field. There's really no reason to feel inhibited about just throwing the ball up.
Been a quiet day for Hugh Douglas. We have
really has been
mentioned his name coming off the 3 sacks last week. Jamal Anderson now replacing Craig Hayward in the backfield. Jamal Anderson, second-year player from Utah. George is brought down, and it's Hugh Douglas with the sack.
And he's hurt. That's the way the Jets' day has been today. Even when something good happens, something bad happens as well. And Hugh Douglas with the 3 sacks last week. See if we can pick up exactly how he got through. You know, really, that's just Jeff George. That's just a mistake by Jeff. There was good protection on the play. Bob Woodfield had Hugh Douglas blocked perfectly, and Jeff panicked a little bit and ran right into Hugh Douglas.
Third sack of the day for the Jets. Takes the Falcons out of field goal range, and Straczynski with the punt. Carter let it bounce, and a good one for Atlanta. 44-yard punt, perfectly placed by Straczynski. Timeout call. We'll be right back. Falcons 13 and the Jets 3. What has been an uninspired effort to this point by the Jets, facing the prospect of a record of 1-3. Esiason had it knocked out of his hands, then able to recover, and then throws one that is almost intercepted. An adventure for Boomer Esiason, who has been picked off twice and has been nearly intercepted now 4 other times.
Wow, and Chris Dolman almost got there, number 56, coming around the corner, and really the problem was created. Nice play by Dolman, just getting his hand in there when Wayne Crabette just couldn't beat Terry Taylor. They had man coverage, and Boomer circled back around, and almost the worst thing he did was pick it up and try and rethrow it. There just aren't people open, Marv. I'm telling you, man coverage has killed these Jets wide receivers.
The corner, Ron Davis, nearly picked it off. And now a flag thrown as Fred Baxter, the tight end, is able to snare that pass and run for a first down. Jesse Tuggle on the stop, but a penalty is called.
77. Illegal contact, number 28 on the defense. Penalties offset. Replay second down.
Well, the hold on Matt Willig, the left tackle, who has had to contend all day long with Chris Dolman, who's been very active.
Yeah, plenty of reason to hold, but there was also an illegal contact down the field against the Falcons. We're having a little trouble picking up the referee's mic, and so the penalty's offset.
And it sets it to a second down and 10 at the 9. Draw play, and that is snuffed out. Adrian Morrell stopped on the play back behind the line. Combination of Chuck Smith and Clay Matthews on the tackle. It'll be a 3rd and 11 back at the 8-yard line.
And Marv, what's happening is that the wide receivers are getting single coverage on the outside. That opens up the safeties to come up and help on the run, gives you the opportunity to blitz more. And for Rich Kotite, he's in desperate need of a playmaker at the wide receiver position.
Esiason 11 of 20, only 84 yards, intercepted twice, sacked twice. Penalty flag is down, and this one is blown dead.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 76, half the distance to the goal line, still 3rd down.
False start on the play by James Brown. This has not been one of those days that you try and go sell season tickets off of.
Yeah. It'll be a 3rd and 15 back at the 4. Esiason just did get it away for Fred Baxter. And the question is, where did he step out? He picked up the first down. Boomer Esiason shaken up once again. That's a 24-yard pass play. Roger Hopper made the stop on Fred Baxter.
Gutsy throw that time by Boomer Esiason. He knew he was going to take one right in the chops. See exactly who it was that came in and got him. Looked like maybe Jumpy Gathers just took a shot. And even when Boomer Esiason has not been, excuse me, that's Chuck Smith. Even when Boomer hasn't been sacked, he's been taking plenty of a pounding.
And the draw from Morrell. Adrian Morrell across the 35-yard line. Tuggle and Walker combined to make the stop.
But again, Marv, as bad as it's been, the score is 13-3. There's 10 minutes to go in the game. One big play by the Jets, and all of a sudden they're right back in the football game. They haven't been able to maintain any consistency on the offensive side.
2nd and about a yard. And a big hole for Morrell. Out to the 48-yard line. He goes for 12. Dolman on the stop. So Morrell has run 8 times for 51 yards.
And the one completed pass now setting up the running game. Nice block there at the point of attack. Looked like Carlton Hasselrig and Cal Dixon working together on the double team, and that's what sprang Adrian Morrell.
Esiason swings it out. And it's Morrell. And Adrian Morrell has certainly changed the pace of this game for the Jets. That's good for 21. Last week he dropped a couple of swing passes at the end of the first half that I know disappointed himself and the coaching staff, but he's a guy who's able to come in and provide a change of pace because of the running style.
That's exactly right. He is their speed back. And right now that's what they need because they're not getting big plays on the outside. Just get it out to Adrian Morrell and hope he makes something on his own.
First down at the Atlanta 33. Baxter in motion. Draw play for Morrell. And he stopped at the line. Stopped by Chuck Smith with 8:22 left in this fourth quarter. Let's go to Greg Gumbel at our New York studios.
All right, Marv, and in Cleveland, Andre Rison, 5 catches all season long, 4 today, and his first touchdown reception, a 4-yarder from Vinny Testaverde. The score now is 14-3. Cleveland leading the unbeaten Chiefs so far. They're in the fourth quarter, Marv.
All right, Greg. Falcons with a 13-3 lead over the Jets here in Atlanta. Esiason with a long look and then went right down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Charles Wilson, who was well covered by the strong safety Kevin Ross.
And Marv, when they're going into their flip formation, when they have 2 wide receivers on the same side, the Atlanta Falcons are staying with that man coverage. Boomer Esiason has an opportunity to run some sort of crisscross pattern, a picking kind of pattern, and maybe spring one of those wideouts and get them in the open field. But they really need to create some kind of threat with the wide receivers.
3rd and 10 at the Atlanta 33. And a timeout is taken. The Jets call for time. 7:50 to go in the fourth. Into it, urging on the defensive unit of the Falcons, who have certainly handled the Jets. 7:50 left in the fourth. Jets have a 3rd and 10 at the Falcon 33, trailing 13-3. Esiason found the open receiver, but short of the first down. Wayne Corbett was able to work free, and he's in for the touchdown. What a move by Wayne Corbett. It appeared that Atlanta stopped him.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a kid who is just all heart. A walk-on at Hofstra, a free agent here. Just his will to win has got him in the National Football League, refusing to give up there. Sensational effort by Wayne Corbett.
32-yard touchdown play. But it looks like he was stopped by Alton Montgomery, but he was able to break the tackle.
And Marv, now I think they're saying that he was down on the 1-yard line. It looked like his foot slid out of bounds just before the ball crossed the goal line. You're going to take a look at the end of the play. Obviously the great effort, but just before the ball crossed, I think his right foot slid out of bounds, and that's what they're calling.
And the initial signal was touchdown.
Right. Then the lines judge came running down right there. I think his foot slid over. That would be awfully tough for me to take away that touchdown.
1st and goal, down at the 1. Tremendous effort by Corbett. And Morel is stopped. Stacked up by the strong safety, Kevin Ross. Ross, along with linebacker Ken Tippin, stopping Adrian Morel. It'll be a 2nd and goal at the 1.
Super effort on the right side here by the Falcons, just getting a big push back off the ball. And they're just not going to let them in. You know, you assume you get the ball 1st and goal into 1 that you're going to score, but for the Falcons, they're not buying that assumption.
Was Baxter in motion, and the play fake dropped. Fred Baxter dropped it after beating Roger Harper.
Baxter, who's played so well, this is just a gimme. Just an absolute gimme. Incredible. Wayne Corbett has to be dying on the sidelines watching what's going on.
It is a 3rd and goal at the 1. 3 running backs for the Jets. Baxter, Morel, and Anderson. And it is fumbled and recovered in the end zone by Kevin Ross of the Falcons. Just an embarrassing series for the Jets. This after the terrific effort by Corbett to get it to the one after breaking a tackle, and then a couple of most unusual plays.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about the way the day has gone for the New York Jets. Embarrassing. Corbet's foot slid over the line, but the line judge trailing the play is the one that makes the call. Sanford Rivers, and that led to the fumble by Richie Anderson, and Boomer tried to make a blind handoff there and just never got it in.
And that preceded by the drop in the end zone by the wide open Fred Baxter. And the Falcons taking over. Jamal Anderson with the first carry of the day, going for 13, and we're told that Ironhead Hayward is out the rest of the game because of a sprained left knee, and now Terrence Mathis is shaken up. 6:22 remaining in the fourth. Falcons. Mathis, the one-time Jet who has had a very quiet day, only one catch, shaken up. Over at the sideline now. First down at the 33-yard line for Jeff George, and he's able to complete to the tight end, Mitch Lyon. That's his second catch of the day, and goes for 19 yards. Hit out by the combination of Scott and Glenn. And now Wilbur Marshall is hurt. Timeout is called with 5:53 remaining in the fourth.
Tough to tell on the fumble whether or not Boomer Esiason really got it down in the belly of Richie Anderson, but the exchange never there. Really no one got a hand in there. It just was one of those where the back's trying to jump over, and of course the play before it should have been over. Boomer Esiason hit Fred Baxter right in the hands and couldn't make the play.
What a series of events. Corbett able to break the tackle. It appeared that Montgomery had him. Then the indication that it was a touchdown, but the play overruled, that he stepped out at the one, which set up those two plays, leading to the drop by Baxter and the fumble by Anderson. And this is Jamal Anderson playing for the injured Craig Hayward. Jamal Anderson was Hayward's backup last year as a rookie, played primarily special teams in his second year out of Utah. His dad has been a bodyguard for personalities such as Muhammad Ali and Diana Ross. 5'10", 245 pounds, a bruising power runner who has not seen much action.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Muhammad Ali was in the hospital with his father James when Jamal was born. Sugar Ray Leonard sang at his birthday party, so he's known plenty of celebrities in his day.
Timeout is called by the Jets. They have one remaining. Atlanta has all three with 5:25 to go in this fourth quarter. And when we resume, it will be a second down and 7.
Ironhead out of the game now, injured. But he was the difference today. He really, his runs and his ability to keep the Jets out of that base 4-1 defense and force them to put another linebacker in the game. He can really be a force when he gets it going.
19 carries, 120 yards for Hayward. So Anderson is the lone deep back. Anderson slashing his way to the 40, short of the first down. Jets trying to punch the ball out of the hands of Jamal Anderson. It'll be a third and about 2. Well, we're joined on the sidelines today by Jim Gray, who I'm told has an injury report for us. Let's go downstairs to Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Terrence Mathis has a strained left knee. He's probably going to be all right, may not return. As for Ironhead Hayward, he has a hyperextended right knee and probably won't return. Marv?
All right, Jim, third down and 2 at the 39. Jim looking obviously from Matt Gugas, who will be here in a couple of months.
Can be confusing.
Jeff George on the screen that is knocked down. Mo Lewis got a piece of it.
Interesting decision now. for June Jones. Looks like they're going to send the punter in and force Boomer Esiason to go the distance. But remember that last drive by the Jets basically started on their 4, and they went the entire distance, and but for the call by the official, it would have been about a 96-yard touchdown drive. So not wanting to risk giving the Jets good field position with a missed field goal.
All right, next to Carter is back, and again the pump-up sent by Dan Straczynski, and a fair catch leading to the penalty off the contact by Ron George. Ron George did not pull up, made contact, and that will cost.
He just must have never seen the fair catch signal, and I don't know exactly how that happened because it was a clear one.
On the kicking team,
Ron George, a very intelligent young man out of Stanford University, but he missed that one. That was strange. And the special teams coach, and Frank is sort of a quiet guy. He's been a lot of different places. Excellent special teams guy, but he lets you know exactly how he feels.
4 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And the Jets will start out from their 34-yard line coming up tonight right here on NBC at 7, 6 Central. Esiason able to swing it out. Morrell so effective on that last Jet series is bumped out of bounds by Ross. Pickup of 2. It'll be a second down and 8.
Really plenty of time remaining, though. They need a touchdown, a field goal, possibility of a 2-point conversion. So the game still very much in the reach of the Jets. 4:17 remaining.
Well, the crowd announced at 40,778. Capacity is 71,000. As you said earlier, 55 seemed a little optimistic. That was the expected total. Charles Wilson with only his 3rd catch of the day, covered by Ron Davis. It is short of the first down. It will be a 3rd down and 3 at the 41.
I think Charles Wilson jammed his hand on that last catch. Really, I've been watching him all day, and he seems to have been messing around with that hand all day. I don't know if he injured it earlier or not, but now you've got to believe that the Jets in 4-down territory, so 2 shots to gain 3 yards.
And there's one of the shots, and it is a first down. Kyle Brady, a rookie tight end out of Penn State, with his 2nd reception. The tackle by Kevin Ross, and the Jets with a first down.
And Boomer Esiason, very adept at this 2-minute offense. They ran a lot of it with Sam Wyche in Cincinnati.
Esiason sets up the screen with Morrell. Morrell with 1 good fake, and then Jesse Tuggle did not go with a 2nd fake. Jesse Tuggle earned a trip to the Pro Bowl for the 2nd time in 3 years. Last season, led the Falcons in tackles. He had 20 total tackles last Sunday against New Orleans.
Yeah, he's one of the better players that you've never heard of.
2nd down. Esiason with a bullet, and Brady could not hold on. Covered by Terry Taylor.
Boomer Esiason got his hand whacked at the end of that throw as well, but you've got to have a big call here from Rich Kotite. See Boomer still flexing that hand, and it's one of the problems that quarterbacks have, especially they hate that pressure right up the middle, right up the gut, because when they release the ball and they follow through, that's more often than not they'll smack their hand on a helmet or a shoulder pad, and it really frustrates quarterbacks. They like that inside to be real solid.
3rd and 10 at the 48. Trebek in motion. And Esiason almost intercepted by Alton Montgomery, and he would have gone the distance.
Yeah, they've come back to that play once too often now. They've fallen in love with that crossing route, and that time the Falcons in a zone defense. They've been playing a lot of man coverage all day, that time in the zone, and I don't think Boomer was ready for it. But here's the ball game now for the Jets.
I tell you, Boomer with 2 interceptions is very fortunate. It's only 2.
Right, it could have easily been at least 4.
4:50 10. The Jets at their 48-yard line with 3:13 remaining in the fourth. And a flag thrown.
Wow. Wow, James Brown jumping.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76 on the offense.
James Brown
5-yard
playing for the
penalty,
injured.
Still fourth down.
Siapeli Malomalo has a sprained knee.
Well, that's what you need when you're looking at 4th and 10 anyway to make it 4th and 15.
Jets have only one timeout remaining. Falcons have all 3. It is now a 4th down and 15 back at the 43-yard line. And again the flag. Off the movement.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty.
And again,
still
it's
fourth down.
James Brown.
I mean, really. You know, I mean, every once in a while it's going to happen to you, but that's unbelievable.
James Brown, a starter last year for 7 games, then lost the starting job. Back as a starter today. Consecutive penalties on Brown, so it's a 4th and 20. Fred Baxter in motion. And Esiason tees it up and fires.
That's a good call. That's pass interference. Not much doubt about that one.
That's Kevin Ross complaining about it, number 36.
Kevin Ross just went right into the body of Kyle Brady and never made any effort at all. And June Jones, he's not even going to argue. That was a clear foul.
Defense, number 28, not playing the ball. Automatic first
Call
down.
on the left corner, Ron Davis. That's Davis.
Right there, yeah, and I had my numbers mixed up. Yeah, that was number 28, Ron Davis, and not Kevin Ross. But that's a rookie mistake. He's a 2nd-round draft pick, and Boomer Esiason knew it as soon as he let it go that was a foul.
And it cost the Falcons 36 yards on the interference penalty. First down at the 24. And Esiason's pass deflected, and another interception opportunity. Chris Dolman putting the pressure on the pass intended for Fred Baxter.
Chris Dolman is about to wear out Boomer Esiason. Matt Willick is going to see Dolman in his dreams tonight because he has not even gotten close to shutting him down. You've got to have a chance to throw the football, and for Matt Willick, it has been a very difficult afternoon, perhaps more difficult, though, for Boomer Esiason. Really, that play was there. It looked like he had the receiver if it hadn't been knocked down.
2nd and 10 at the Atlanta 24. 3:02 left in the fourth. Jets are down by 10 points, and that pass thrown off the mark. Kyle Brady, the intended receiver, covered by Roger Harper. Boomer Esiason with a totally ineffective day here at the Georgia Dome. The stat line is 18 of 33, 170 yards, intercepted twice, and it could have been picked off another 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and he's upset with himself for that last one, but that's what pressure will do. When you get hit in the back all day, all of a sudden you start trying to get rid of that football a little quicker and you make bad throws.
It's a 3rd and 10. The sidearm pass is caught by Baxter. Fred Baxter taken down inside the 15-yard line. They're moving the chains. It's a first down, tripped up by Terry Taylor, and the Jets first down at the Atlanta 13. And Esiason looking to stop the clock. Some confusion on the play.
Well, you're talking about a tough day. When you can't even get the kill the clock play off, that's when you know you've had a tough day.
He missed on the spike.
They're just, I mean, when you're just trying to throw the ball down in the ground and stop the clock. I don't think you got the snap. It's just been one of those days. This has been one of the stranger football games I've ever seen.
Well, the Jets,
they gave it to him.
Jets history certainly littered with brutally tough and freakish defeats, but we've seen a number of most unusual scenarios here today. Esiason eluding the pressure and throwing downfield. I think he was trying to throw it away.
Well, it looked like he was trying to hit Kyle Brady, and Kyle Brady didn't seem too interested in it. Corbett was coming across the field the other way. Kyle Brady looks like he is worn out. It's been a tough day in there battling all the coverage people they have. And, you know, this is what it just looks like it's never going to end. But the Jets still right there and have a chance. And obviously they don't make it here. They can always kick a field goal and just be a touchdown down.
2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the fourth. Third down play. And Esiason with the swing, one-handed by Morrell, broke a tackle, and he is taken down at the 4-yard line by Kevin Ross. It's been a very impressive day for Adrian Morrell.
And he does not like the spot. This is right at the first down marker. It'll make it 4th down if they don't give him the good spot. And Morrell tried to make one too many spin moves. He makes a nice move to get by Clay Matthews. Then right here, you've just got to put your head down and get the first down. The marker's right there. When he tried to score the touchdown, he may have cost himself a first down, and he did. And Rich Kotite going for the touchdown here. Has the option of the field goal to come back, but I think this is the right decision. I agree here. You're this close.
And Boomer calls for time. That's the final timeout for the Jets with 2:11 left in the fourth quarter. Falcons with a 13-3 lead.
Boy, and that's a big timeout to have to take in that situation on an out-of-bounds ball. Obviously, you're going to be battling the clock even if you get it here. And now you're going to have to do it without any timeouts. Fourth down call, and probably a little leery about going back to the running game. Remember, they had it down on the goal line, and 1st and goal into 1. They tried to run, then the pass to Baxter, which he dropped, and then tried to hand off to Richie Anderson. So you're a little gun shy right now looking at your offensive game plan and trying to figure one out for this one.
This would be a 22-yard field goal attempt, but I would think you have to go for it.
Yeah, I agree with the decision.
Inside the 5. It puts the Jets in a situation if they're able to score here. They may have a desperation field goal attempt looking to tie later on, but they must score here. Anderson picks up the first down. Clay Matthews on the stop. So it will be a 1st and goal for the Jets with 2 minutes left in the fourth. Falcons with a 13-3 lead on the New York Jets. 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Jets are right back where they were earlier this fourth quarter with several opportunities, but a drop pass and a fumble gave it right back to Atlanta.
And Marv, I think you have to throw the football here. You have no timeouts. You really can't afford to let a lot of time run off the clock because it's a 2-possession game. I don't think you have much choice but throw the football.
1st and goal down at the 2. And he does throw. And it's intercepted by Ken Tippins. The pass intended for the man who dropped one in the end zone earlier, Fred Baxter. He tried to loop it over the head of Tippins, but Tippins with the interception.
That's just a sensational play by Tippins. I mean, that looked like a touchdown pass all the way, and all of a sudden Tippins set out one of his hooks and just made the play. I don't think Boomer Esiason can believe what he just saw. It just looked like Fred Baxter was wide open from our vantage point, lobbed it over the top or tried to, and Tippins was just a sensational play. Really, there was room for Boomer to lob that one much higher, but I'm sure he just didn't feel like that Tippins had any way to make that play.
Ken Tippins, backup linebacker in a 7th season out of Middle Tennessee State. He's been a standout in special team duty So the Falcons take over with 1:55 remaining in this fourth quarter. Third time that Esiason was intercepted. Jamal Anderson getting the call. Clock is running. Jets are out of timeouts.
In this ball game, the Jets have had 5 plays from the 1-yard line without a touchdown. That is a disaster. For Wayne Crabett, he should be the hero. You know, you go all the way back to that one play and the official overruling. That would have made it a 13-10 ball game. And it certainly seemed that the Jets offense was getting it going with Nick Lowry as your field goal kicker, but that was the one that decided it.
And with the Giants beating New Orleans earlier in a shootout, and with the Jet performance here today lackluster, as a talk show host, you can relate to what the calls will be like in the New York area, and what the newspaper headlines will be screaming out the next couple of days. A poor effort by the Jets, and a number of opportunities that misfired. Perhaps what symbolized this fourth quarter situation for the Jets, the spike attempt by Boomer Esiason that went awry.
But you know, Marv, the Jets did play against one of the best secondaries in all of football.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So that will do it. The Falcons able to run it out. They'll go to a record of 3-1, and the Jet problems continue. They go to 1 up and 3 down with the prospect of playing the Raiders next Sunday night at Giant Stadium. June Jones being congratulated by Rich Kotite. Final score, Falcons 13 and the Jets 3. We'll be back in a moment.